Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Is there sound? Can you hear me? Oh my gosh, you can hear me. Okay, great. So you can see and hear me. Am I being heard and seen? I hope so. Okay, great. All right. Well, first of all, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to tonight's live. Um, First of all, listen. First of all, I just want to apologize for not being able to go live yesterday. I really wish that I was able to, but I was having the craziest of tech issues. My internet went out. Everything was in peril and burning. But I think it was probably for the best, because I live in New York, and obviously yesterday was Halloween, and it was loud. There were sounds. There were children screaming. There was music blaring. You guys probably would have been able to hear all of that. You probably might hear some of that tonight because it's New York. There's nothing we can do about that. But how did all of you enjoy your Halloween? I don't know how old any of you are, if you're old enough to trick or treat. If you decided to trick or treat at your age, I don't know. If you have kids, who knows what you decided to do. If you just decided to stay home and watch movies. But speaking of movies, what we're going to be doing tonight is live reviewing some films. I recently had seen a slew of horror movies, but nothing was really sticking out to me enough to want to actually review on the channel. For any of you out there that are editors in any capacity, video, audio, anything, editing is such a tedious process, and you want to be able to, put out what you're putting out that you enjoy and that you like. And I felt nothing about any of the things I was watching, but I was like, you know what, that's not fair. People still need to know. So I am going to live review a couple movies tonight here on the stream for your viewing pleasure. And if any of you have seen these movies, let me know about it in the chat. How you felt, how you're feeling. Tell me about it. We can talk about it because I've got some things to go through. So, first, to start off, yes, editors unite. Absolutely. You are correct. Editors do unite. Like, I feel that. But I honestly, yeah, I didn't want to do anything that was going to be too much. I did release a video yesterday for Salem's Lot. The video was longer only because I had some feelings about that. I had feelings about it because I'd watched the original miniseries. I really liked it. I felt like the movie was... You'll see my thoughts when you watch the video. But the first thing that I want to highlight this evening, I'm going to go from I wasn't really feeling the movie down to I was feeling the movie. So let's get the we not really feeling it out of the way first, and then we're going to go to the movies that we were feeling. Let's do that. So the first movie that I want to go through is a movie called Apartment 7A. So let's bring that up for you guys on the screen here. So, first of all, for those of you that don't know, Apartment 7A is I want to say a spiritual, can't even say a spiritual. It's basically a prequel to Rosemary's Baby. Now, here's the thing. Did anyone ask for a prequel to Rosemary's Baby? I don't think we did. But it's what we got. So it's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby, and it follows a young woman who was actually introduced in the original movie. So yeah, for those of you that seen it, it's I think it came out like in September, but it's a Paramount Plus original movie. Yeah, it's a Paramount Plus original movie. It was starring Julie Gardner, so I believe that she was in the show on Netflix. Why can't I remember the name of the show on Netflix? But she was definitely on the show on Netflix where they were like, I think they were like doing some type of like drug kingpin-esque things going on in that show. whatever show that was. I cannot remember right now to save my life, but yeah. So unfortunately, most unfortunately, it basically followed the character of Terry D'Onofrio. So, in the original Rosemary's Baby, spoiler alert, first of all, for those of you that, Ozark, thank you, Melissa, Ozark, yes, Ozark is the show that she was in. I've never seen the show, but I've actually, like, heard really good things about it. Thank you so much for saying that, because I literally could not think of the show to save my life. I was like, what the hell is that show called? Yes, Ozark. Okay, so she was in Ozark with Jason Bateman, and I heard the show's really good. Like, it's a dark show. So I was like, okay, girl, like, you know, she can act or whatever. That wasn't the problem. So for those of you that have seen the original, like, Rosemary's Baby, that is a classic. Okay, that's like horror classic, okay? And in the movie, once again, spoilers for Rosemary's Baby. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Okay, spoilers for Rosemary's Baby. Obviously, the movie is about a woman who gets impregnated with the Antichrist by some means. See, I won't spoil it that much for you. If you haven't seen it, you still got a chance. There you go. But in the movie, there's a scene where she meets this young woman in the laundry room. Her name is Terry. And at the time, oh my gosh, there's so much going on in the trailer. At the time, I was like, oh no, what's going on? I've gone too far. Okay, at the time, the Cassavetes, who were the older couple that was in Rosemary's Baby, who ends up, you know, befriending Rosemary and Guy in that movie. At the time, Terry is basically like living with them. You learn that in Rosemary's Baby very shortly. And then I want to say like maybe like 10 to 15 minutes later in Rosemary's Baby, you find out that Terry dies. You're like, oh my God, like she died. She fell out of her window. I always assumed, I don't know about the rest of you, I always assumed that Terry basically was the person that they were trying to do the ritual with before Rosemary, that she was, you know, impregnated, you know, through satanic means, okay, and they told her about it, and she was just like, absolutely not, and she offed herself. Like, she was just like, absolutely not. I always assumed that. I don't know about y'all. I don't know how the rest of you viewed that. But there is also a scene in Rosemary's Baby where you can kind of, like, hear, I think, like, Minnie Castevet talking to, like, the neighbor, basically saying, like, oh, we shouldn't have told her. Like, that was a bad idea. We shouldn't have let her know. And then, you know, that's after Terry dies. So I kind of assumed that, like, they told her, like, hey, this is what the deal is, and she was just like, nah, and she killed herself. Cool. Apparently in this movie, they felt the need to explore on that. Now, Rosemary's Baby is also based off of a book, Rosemary's Baby. Like, thank you, Faye. She obviously killed herself. Like, okay, so literally in the book Rosemary's Baby and in the movie, they pretty much did the scene. The only scene that you really get to know Terry is in that scene in the laundromat. Like, you find out that the Castevetes took her in. They gave her this charm, the same little, you know, devil charm or whatever. Okay. And then she was like, absolutely not. For some reason, and they also said she was like training to be like, I think she was like nurse or secretary, something along those lines, right? In this movie, She was a dancer, private dancer, not a private dancer. I'm just joking. She was a dancer. Okay, she was a dancer, and she basically had tried out for like this Broadway show. It was like during rehearsals, and she injured herself very badly. So now she's basically trying to go and, get her career back. And she's taking painkillers to like help with the pain. They're not recommending her painkillers anymore because they're like, you might be at a girl. Like, it's crazy. So she's like getting drugs on the side, keep up her habit. Okay. And she basically passes out on the street and is found by the cast of vets. And they're just like, oh, honey, in this movie, as you see on the screen, Diane Wiest is playing Minnie Cassavette. I did not have a problem with that. I love Diane Wiest, okay? I actually think that she did a really good job playing Minnie. She was actually, to me, like one of the highlights, only because in the original Rosemary's Baby, Minnie is very forward. Like she's just like, oh, Zia, don't worry about it. Everything's fine, whatever. And I remember after I watched this movie, like I was reading that people thought that she was a little bit too forward in Apartment 7A than she was in Rosemary's Baby. But I feel like the reason for that is because, they're trying to make stuff happen. And once things failed, obviously, with this young woman, Terry, by the time they got to Rosemary, they were like, maybe we should be a little bit more gentle with this one. So she doesn't, like we should be a little bit nicer with her and not press her so hard. Because they were pressing this girl, Terry. They were pressing her. All right. So now let's get back to it. They make her a dancer. They take her in. The only person she knows in the city is like a friend that also like danced. Okay. They take her in. And they're like, oh, you can have the apartment. It's no problem. Everything's fine. First of all, you don't even know these people. I don't know about y'all. Like, let me know in the chat. If you were by yourself in a city that you're not from, okay, and some people pick you up off the street, they help you, they nurse you back to health, God bless them. But then they're like, you can absolutely stay in this apartment and live here next door. We don't want anything. We've never had kids. We just want the best for you. Once again, it could be an absolute blessing. That could be a blessing. But at the same time, you might be like, this is a little suspicious. Why you give me this apartment? You clothe me, Not, once again, they could just be doing it out of the kindness of their souls. But please tell me, Abhinavi, super sus. It's sus. You don't know nobody else. All of a sudden, they're just like, we never had kids. We're going to give you this whole apartment. First of all, listen, I'm from New York. I don't know how many of y'all in the chat are from New York, but New York apartments have and always will be expensive. They gave her a gorgeous apartment in like, what was it? Like Midtown? Uptown? Manhattan? What? For $3.99 in New York. That's, first of all, and they didn't want anything in return. I would have automatically assumed this is either some sexy stuff is going on or cult. Or yes, exactly. They want your kidneys, your organs. Exactly. Like something's going on. Absolutely agree. Like they're trying to harvest some things. Okay. Nothing you would assume is like the best intentions, but she is just like, oh my God, it's fine. Okay. So obviously, she's not doing well with her dancing because her foot's all messed up. Like she really injured herself poorly. Okay. So the next door neighbor's like, oh, we can help you. We're going to give you some ointment to put on. We're going to rub this on your ankle. You're going to be good as new. Okay. So she is good as new. She gets that little ointment. She puts on her ankle. She auditions leading role. Now also the director of the show that she's in also lives in the same building. Suspicious again. They're like, go visit him. He'll get you into the show. They go. She visits this man. Sexy things happen. Now all of a sudden, she's in the show. Also, She doesn't remember the sexy things happening. That's called assault. She doesn't remember that happening. She wakes up the same way as Rosemary did, confused, with scratches on her, okay? And the guy's just like, my bad, I'm sorry, I thought that's what you wanted. But also, you're in the show, so. Now, fast forward, she gets into the show. She finds out that she's pregnant, obviously, from the guy. Now, in this movie, obviously, the same way that they did with Rosemary's Baby, where there's kind of like this dream sequence where she's like on this yacht and she's, you know, chilling, and all of a sudden she's just like, nah, something's not right. Like, this is kind of weird. But Rosemary is kind of like half conscious, because in the movie she was supposed to eat this chocolate mousse. She didn't eat the chocolate mousse, so she was just like half conscious and kind of realized that something was off. In apartment 7A, that's not what happens. You know, this young woman, she has a similar dream sequence, and because she's like a dancer, they basically make it like kind of like a show tune number. I actually really liked what they did with that scene. I thought it was cool, even though she wasn't supposed to be a dancer, but since they went with the dancer route, I guess this is where we're going. That scene was cool. But obviously she finds out that she, like, you know, the pregnancy goes on. Obviously something's not right. Nope, no shit. Okay, she finds out something's not right. And she's like, I'm gonna go get rid of the baby. And the cast members are just like, hold on. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that, because here's the thing. The child's father, okay, it's Satan. But that's fine, because you're going to get everything that you want in life. You're going to be famous. You're going to be a star. So just have the baby. Give us the baby. You can go on with your life. You don't even. What? So obviously she goes to try to, you know, terminate the pregnancy, and the baby basically fights back, and she schmurders the woman that's trying to do the procedure for her. So she realizes they can take out my stomach. Yes. She literally tried to do that. She tried to get, you know, the situation remedied immediately. Once she found out that it wasn't great. Okay? The baby fought back. That wasn't what was happening. So obviously, fast forward to the end of the movie, which is technically the middle of Rosemary's Baby, and she, you know, pretends that she's okay with everything happening, and then she, you know, jumps out the window, and that's pretty much the end. And it pretty much concludes with, you know, the scene. Mind you, they have Rosemary in the movie for like 2 scenes, but you never see her face. You never hear her voice. And obviously it ends with them like seeing her outside. Now, here's the thing. Why? Who asked for this movie? First of all, you didn't even follow the little bit of information that both the book and the movie gave you about this character, Terry D'Onofrio. Like you didn't follow it. You didn't follow it. You literally said, no, we got like 3 bits of information about this young girl, and we're not gonna follow this. Then, you're basically doing a prequel of information that we as fans of the original movie already pretty much put together ourselves. We didn't need a whole whatever type of movie about this. That doesn't make any sense. So to me, why this movie? Why they did that? Because I spent an hour and 45 minutes, or how long was this? Let's look up here. Let's scroll up. An hour and 47 minutes. We'll give some leeway for credits. We spent an hour and 42 minutes watching this For what? For who? For why? I don't understand. Does not compute. We don't get it. So personally, I don't know any of you out there that might have watched this conflabbit thing, but I felt like it was just Let's see what the chat is saying. We have Faye. This movie was completely unnecessary to have tasted Wagyu and then be force-fed beef chuck from the corner store. That is so funny. Yes, because Rosemary's Baby is basically the Wagyu. And then we're backtracking. Abenivi said, I thought the movie was okay. It was basic. The movie wasn't, it wasn't bad, but it was unnecessary. And to me, if a movie is unnecessary, then like you have no purpose. You're like Mr. Smith said in The Matrix, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? You're doing something that we already knew. You're adding extra details. For what? Why? No one asked for this. If they would have did a movie about how the Castavetes came into some type of power or like why or something, but even then, there are some things that I feel like we as fans, like we're cool with what we have. And I feel like Rosemary's Baby is one of those things where the movie is a standalone gem. It's a standalone masterpiece. You don't have to add on to it. You don't have to. No, we good where it's at. And I didn't really care for it. I felt like it was one of those movies that I saw where unfortunately it wasted a bit of my time. Now, that's not to say anything against like the cast. I really like the cast of the movie. Like, I like Julie Gardner. I like Diane Wiest. I love Diane Wiest. Once again, thought she did a great job as Minnie Castavetes. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to warrant doing an entire prequel. It doesn't make any sense. So, in the chat, wait, what? Who's in therapy? Wait, what's going on here? Like, okay, Faye said, poorly written, poorly directed, poorly executed. I will never get that time back. Yeah, like, it was, see, a 6. Ebonivi's giving it a 6. Faye, what would you give it? Anyone, put in the chat if you've seen the movie, what you would give this movie. Because to me, I feel like the movie was unnecessary. So it was just mid. This is a mid movie. Like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just unnecessary. Was it better than average? Are you saying that because, like, there was some visuals, like, there were some elements of the cinematography that I liked. But you're rehashing a story that we already knew and we didn't need extra information on. So, wait, Faye, is that your score? Negative? Oh, that's negative. Oh, no. That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Will at Quiverful Productions, first of all, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you, all of you, for coming by. I'm so grateful for all of you. I really am. So, did you see it? Will at Quiverful Productions, did you see the movie? I feel like you didn't. You're just like, you're living for what Abenivi and Faye are saying for the movie because, listen, I don't think it was worth it. I wouldn't recommend it to people that like Rosemary's Baby because you could just watch Rosemary's Baby. And I think the problem also is that Rosemary's Baby is considered a classic movie. This movie came out, over 40 years ago, like almost 50 years ago. And for this generation of people that might not know film that well, this might be their first foray into what Rosemary's Baby is. And for that, I feel bad for them. I feel bad. Now, once again, nothing against the cast, because I think that the cast did fine with what they were given, but because it's never against the actors. Like, the actors were fine, but the source material, you didn't need to do this. You had a paragraph of source material, and you changed the entire paragraph, first of all, and then you basically rehashed Rosemary's Baby, and you didn't do it well. No offense. Let's see. Abinivi says the cinematography was a 2 out of 10. Damn. Abinivi, are you in film? Are you in film? Are you a filmmaker? Are you a photographer? I feel like you're a photographer, because I feel like that 2 out of 10 came out of your soul. Melissa says I would give it like a 5, maybe. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's just mid. It's just a mid movie. She also, Will said, wow, 2 out of 10. Yeah. Melissa said, I don't know. I feel like it needed help. It did need help. The help was, it didn't need to be done. It didn't need to be done. What was the, let's see if we have a budget for this movie. Let's see what the budget was. Is that here? It's not here on IMDb. Let's check. Apartment 7A budget. There's not much information for the budget of the movie. I bet there isn't. Oh, it says $2.3 million. Is this the right movie? I think it is. So basically, it was low budget. Twas a low budget. 'Twas a very low budget. $2.3 million. Probably because a lot of the shots were done in the building, and yeah, I can see that. Okay. You had a very small cast. Yeah. Okay. Small budget. Robert. Hi, Robert. I didn't see it, but I also wouldn't want it. Abinivi is still photographer. A, somebody else that is a creative. Melissa, I like your Chrome background. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Faye, those numbers aren't real. No one got paid. That's so funny. Wiki numbers. You guys are funny. Well, we don't know what the budget was of this movie. We have no idea. But it was clearly low. The consensus of the chat, we have a 2. Who said, oh, well, no. Abinivi said the cinematography was a 2, but I remember you gave it a 5. I think, no, Melissa gave it a 5. Abinivi gave it a 6. Faye gave it a negative. Robert didn't see it, and I don't think Will saw it either. So, based off of the average of those, I'm so sorry, the average of those numbers, it's not a great score. I think Faye's negative with no number just brought the entire thing down. I think you might have brought the whole thing down, girl. I think your number might have brought the whole thing down. But a -1. Are you averaging those numbers out, Will? For us, the average is a -1. I don't think that's great. Once again, as a fan, Rosemary's Baby, I've highlighted that movie in one of my other videos on the channel, in my Mother's Day video. If you didn't see that video, definitely check it out. I love Rosemary's Baby so much. I think it's an incredible movie. It's an incredible movie about relationships, about motherhood, about trust. I tell you what, the end of Rosemary's Baby, I'd have killed my husband, okay? He would have been gone. Absolutely. We would have. And I tell you what, the cult would have let me get rid of him too, because I am the mother of the child. They wouldn't have cared about him anymore. I'd have been like, hey guys, do you need him? I know you made a deal with him, but is he necessary anymore? Because he'd have been gone. I'd have took him out. I'd have been like, I'd yeeted him out the window. Because you basically traded my body and life and womb so that you could be a star. Yeah. We would have, he would have been gone, y'all. So, just saying. But, oh, hello, May. You didn't miss it. I started a little bit late because my life. So, no, we've only gone through one movie, and that's Apartment 7A. And it was not favored by anyone here. So, there you go. But yes, so for, once again, Apartment 7A, I felt like it was unnecessary. Shout out to the cast, but to everything else, no thank you. Moving along to the next movie. So, the next movie that I saw that wasn't as bad as Apartment 7A, but also wasn't good either. You guys are going to actively watch me type this in. Actually, no, I'm just going to say it instead. Was the movie The Watchers. We're going to talk about that next. So, The Watchers. The Watchers came out, I think it was in like August, July or August. It was directed by Ishana Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Now, ladies and germs. I don't know how many times I've voiced my opinion about M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not a fan. But I do not include his offspring in that because I don't know them. You know, everyone gets a fair chance. I didn't get a chance to see this movie in theaters when it came out. I saw it when it came on Max. I had an opportunity to watch it. And yeah. So, let me start out saying well, like, don't start. For those of you that don't know, Will at Quiverful Productions he is an M. Night Shyamalan fan, okay? That he loves him. He also graced us with his presence, Robert and I, on an episode of the podcast, which will be coming out either at the end of this month or the beginning of December, where we talked about M. Night Shyamalan and his entire filmography in detail, so stay tuned for that video. But he is a fan of his, and now he's saying in the chat, don't start, me and him are on hiatus. I think that they're on hiatus because, if I recall correctly, Will here saw Trap, and he was very upset at that movie, so now they beefing right now. But, yeah. But this isn't about him. This is about The Watchers, which was done by his daughter. Produced by him. But done by his daughter. Now, The Watchers is actually based on a book. I did not read the book. If any of you out there have read the book, please let me know. But it's essentially kind of like folklore-esque. I think it takes place in like either the Irish or the Scottish countryside. One of the two. Oh, okay. Let's just read the synopsis. The synopsis here says, a young artist who's played by Dakota Fanning, who I love. I love Dakota Fanning. She's been acting since a young age, and she's always killing it. A young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where, after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers stalked by mysterious creatures. Now, buddy. All right. The chat is saying, wow, Faye, M. Night Shyamalan has fans. He does. I'm not one of them, but he has them. Melissa said she's a chip off the old block for sure. She missed the mark entirely. We're going to get into that because I looked at the trailer for this. I was like, it wasn't anything to write home about. I like Dakota Fanning. I'm always down for seeing her, act in something. And Georgina Campbell, who was also in the movie, because I have up the cast, I believe you guys can see it. She was in Barbarian. Her and her choices in Barbarian. Once again, I did a reaction video to that. If you didn't see it, definitely check it out on the channel. So I was like, okay, those are two people that I like. The cast pretty much was these four people. It was pretty much Dakota Fanning playing Mina, Georgina Campbell playing Clara, Alwyn Ferrer. I feel like I just butchered this woman's name. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is an Irish name, and Irish names are very difficult to pronounce. I feel like I just butchered it once again. I'm very sorry. But she played Madeline, and Oliver Finnegan played Daniel. It was pretty much just these four people throughout the entire movie. So pretty much very small cast, and the setting was entirely inside this compound for the most of the movie in a forest. Okay? Now, they go in the forest. Okay? You know what? I'm just gonna I wasn't gonna spoil this movie, but you know what? We're gonna there's spoilers for the watchers, because I have some things to say. Okay, ring bell, spoilers. Okay, so first of all, the movie literally starts with her, at a bar. She's pretending to be someone else to get dates. Okay. You kind of find out that she has these visions, whatever her sister calls her. You find out that their mother passed away. Okay. She works in a pet shop, and her boss asks her to transport this parrot from point A to point B. The path to transport this parrot is through the Irish countryside, okay, through some winding forest, and she's now going on dirt roads. First of all, no. What? Already? What? This is a red flag already. You're going through dirt roads. Now, once again, this is based off of a book. If this happened in the book, I don't know, but she's going through some dirt roads. She ends up in this forest. Her car dies because the forest in and of itself is a dead zone. Car dies, cell phone dies. She gets out of the car, and instead of walking back down the road to which she came, she decides to venture further into the forest. She hears some things, sees some things, she runs, she finds the compound, she goes inside the compound, and there's these three other people that are just like, oh my God, there's craziness going on outside, they're creatures, and we have to perform for them every night. The movie goes on like this. They're in the compound. You don't really know what the creatures are. You can't see them. Everything is very shadowy. Now, here's the thing. First of all, the cinematography of this movie was terrible. It was not good, because the movie was so dark. Now, I don't know what the deal is in Hollywood recently, where they keep making movies increasingly dark to the point where you can't even see what's going on. Back in the day, they would make things, dark and shadowy to hide bad visual effects. If they didn't have a budget to pull things off, you'd shroud it in darkness and you'd put it in the shadows and things like that. So I don't know if that was the case with this movie, where they were trying to keep the creature secret or keep things secret. But I couldn't see shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I could not see a damn thing in that movie. And at first, when I first started watching the movie, it was kind of sunset, and I was maybe it's the glare on my television, maybe something's wrong. So I waited until it was pitch dark to watch that movie. And I still couldn't see nothing. I couldn't see nothing. I don't. The movie was so dark. So whatever mystery there could have been behind the creatures or any type of like suspense or something, it blind. I couldn't see. It was dark. Shrouded in darkness. And the chat says, I know I butchered her name. I'm so sorry. Listen, if anyone knows how to pronounce her name, it's not me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But, okay, Will said he'll be right back. Okay, the cinematography was disrespectful, yes. Appanevi, you are correct. The cinematography was disrespectful. And Appanevi also said cinematography has been taking a backseat for a few decades. You are correct. That is absolutely right. The cinematography has been taking a hit. And once again, I don't know if that was like a creative choice. I don't know if they didn't have the budget to make things shine. But the creatures were CGI. Yes, Appanevi CGI everything. Absolutely. The creatures were CGI, which obviously, fine, you're going to do CGI creatures, but you hiding them in the shadows so that we're confused about what's going on isn't helping the appeal. It's just making me think that either you don't really know how to introduce them to the plot correctly, or you're hiding bad creature design. So the movie goes on, and the character of Daniel is kind of on the fence about whether or not the character of Madeline is telling the truth about these creatures being outside, because he's never seen them. And she's telling them like, hey, don't venture off. Don't go into these burrows. Always make sure you come back by dark, whatever. And Dakota Fanning's character, Mina, is just like, you know what? I'm going to adventure. So she goes down into this hole and she finds this bike. The creatures find out. They start spazzing. And they try to break into this compound. And in the process of them breaking into this compound, they mysteriously find underneath this rug this bunker. Listen to me. These characters. Okay. Oh, snap. It's the fact that my mom, I know I'm live right now. My mom is definitely calling me. I'm going to answer the phone. Hi, Mom.
Hi, are you okay?
I'm live, and you're on my live right now because I answered the phone.
What the heck? I've been checking. Nothing is showing anything.
Well, I don't know, Mom.
When did you go back live?
I've been live for like 45 minutes.
I've been putting comments and I even said, oh, hi. Nobody said anything.
There's a live chat going on. Everyone can hear you right now.
Oh, my God. Bye. Love you.
I love you more.
Oh, my God. Bye, honey. Hi.
It's important to talk to your mom at all times. So, as I was saying, apparently, according to the character of Madeline and Daniel and Clara, they've been in this bunker for about like months. They've been in there for months. And at no point did they decide to check under the furniture to see if there was another way out. You didn't look under a rug. You didn't pull a chair. You didn't do anything. Either that's poor writing or that's poor writing. So they get down into this bunker and they find information about the person that built the bunker that was trying to do this study, because in the area there used to be fairies. The creatures are fairies. That's what they find out. I can't say spoiler alert because I already said it. Okay. Yes, Melissa, you always have to answer when your mom calls, because if you don't, there's trouble. But they basically find out that these things are fairies, and that the guy who built the bunker, essentially, his wife had passed, and a long time ago, fairies and humans used to coexist happily, or they were fine. They even used to, coexist to the point where they would procreate, okay? And there were like half-breeds. And then all of a sudden, you know, the humans were just like, nah, chill. And they started cutting the fairies' wings. And then, you know, things weren't going so good anymore. And so the fairies were just like, absolutely not. We're gonna kill them. We're gonna kill the humans. Okay. So the guy is trying to see if he can reestablish some type of relationship with the fairies. And he captures one of them and basically trains this fairy to essentially be his wife. And you find out, spoiler alert, that, or I guess twist alert, I don't know, spoiler alert, twist alert, because there was a twist. And I don't know if this twist was in the book. Once again, I don't know. It could have been. I don't know if it was in the book. I don't know if it was just regulated, you know, to the movie. But you basically find out that the woman, Madeline, is the half-breed fairy, and that was his wife. You don't know that until they escape. In the bunker, they find information where, you know, the fairies can't cross water. Also, once the fairies capture you, they basically can replicate you. Like, they've been watching, the whole point of the Watchers. Okay. The whole point, wait, what? I'm sorry. I had to look into the chat for a second. And Apanivi said, I'm not a writer per se. And Faye says, neither is she. Wow, shots fired. Apanivi, but that should be a requirement for making a movie, right? You would think, but in the year of our Lord 2024, with Chat, GTP, and other AI writing software, no. Being a writer is not a requirement for making a movie any longer. It's not, unfortunately. So, and Will says, of course he does training the Pokemon for... What? I'm going to go out on a limb here, Will, and say that you might be writing in the wrong chat, buddy. Because I don't know what the Pokemon or the rest of your message has to do with this movie. But anyway, apparently the fairies have been, the Watchers set up this, you know, whole thing so that they could basically learn the way the humans interact so that they could duplicate them perfectly. Okay? So they find out that they can't cross the water. They escape into the woods during the daytime because the fairies don't come out in the daytime. They get to a boat. In the process, the character of Daniel, he gets, you know, offed because he hears the voice of someone that's dead. Okay, he gets caught up. He gets murdered. It's over for him. So only Mina, Sierra, and Madeline make it to the boat. They escape. Woo! They get back to humanity. Woo! And they're like, we're alive. It's cool. So Mina, Dakota Fanning's character, decides to go back to the university of the professor that was running the experiment to, you know, return some paperwork or whatever, because that was there or something like that. And for some reason, even though it's been, I don't know, I think they said like years since this man went missing at this prestigious university, his office was kept exactly the same. No one took his office over. All of his stuff is still there, which would never happen. That just wouldn't happen. Even if the professor is tenured, if they don't hear from you for a couple years, they're putting your stuff in a box and they're clearing your office out. So she goes to his office, and that's when she sees a picture of the guy and his wife, and she realizes that it's a picture of Madeline. So, oh my gosh, wait, but Madeline died. Oh no. Oh my god, she's a fairy. No. Twist. It's a twist, guys. It's a twist. Do you feel like it was a good twist? That she was the fairy? Did you have any idea that she might have been the fairy? Did you feel like there was going to be a twist in this movie? It's not M. Night Shyamalan. It's his daughter. So there wasn't a guarantee that there'd be a twist, but I tell you what, it was still there. So, to go to Fanning's character goes, she runs. She's like, I have to tell Sierra that Madeline is really a fairy. And she goes there, and Madeline, fairy Madeline, is pretending to be Sierra. She's just like, I'm gonna kill you because you can't know our secrets and whatever, yeah. And then she's like, no, wait, you're human. You've been with humans for years. Don't do this. Be human again. Be with us. And she's like, I will. You're right. I'm gonna be human. I'm gonna live my life. And then the movie ends. And Mina reunites with her sister, who you find out is a twin. She's a twin sister. And that's it. That's the whole movie. So, for those of you that have seen it, I don't know how many of you have seen it. Let me know in the chat if you have. How did you feel about this movie? Because I just was underwhelmed. See, whereas Apartment 7A, I felt like it was an unnecessary prequel. With this, I was underwhelmed because I felt like it's one thing if you are, I mean, let's not pretend that nepotism doesn't run rampant in Hollywood. It always has. This isn't a new concept, okay? But obviously, this is her first feature film. She has directed other things before. She directed episodes of her father's show, the Apple TV Plus show, Changeling? No. He has a show on Apple TV Plus. So she directed a couple episodes of that show. She also directed some music videos for her sister, the sister being the music artist that was in Trap. So hold on for that. In the chat, we have Strive for More. My bad. Thanks for picking up. Yes, that's my mom, y'all. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hashtag embarrassed. It's okay. I'm going to read your chat out loud. They already heard you. No trouble. Just so very happy you're on. I have a lot to catch up. Hi, yeah, you missed one movie review of Apartment 7A, so you didn't miss much. And now we're talking about The Watchers, which was directed by Ashana Shyamalan. So, yeah. Will says he trained the fairy to be his wife. Yes, he did. Is that what you're trying to say? Pokemon? Man, you're spelling. I don't know. Something going on there, Will. I don't know what's going on, my brother. But, yeah. That took a turn. Appanevy, you are right. It did take a turn. And you should feel judged. May says, I just feel you. Me too. Faye, lemon and coke is a twin series. So you're so right. It was a trap. Faye says, I am impressed that he managed to produce an offspring who is equally as talented as him. Wow. Shots fired. That is messed up. My thing is, like, to go back to, like, this is obviously M. Night Shyamalan's her father. I watched some interviews with her because I'm always interested as a filmmaker myself and a writer to understand, you know, what that writer filmmaker's mindset was when they were going into the film, you know, because I'm not biased. I'm not just going to be like, oh, that's his daughter. No, I'm interested to see. I was hoping that she would do something different from her father, because it's one thing to be like inspired by someone that you've watched and how you've learned the craft, but you don't have to like emulate them. But I feel like unfortunately she kind of did. And I was really hoping that she would, you know, step outside of the whole twist thing and like do something completely different. As the daughter of a filmmaker, I was a filmmaker that's known for just one thing. And I was hoping that she'd step out of that shadow. And unfortunately, she kind of like stepped into it. So I don't know if she has anything coming up. Actually, let's see. Let's see if she has anything coming up on her docket. Servant is the name of the show. I said Changeling. I was thinking of a very good old ghost movie. She was a director of a couple episodes of Servant. So let's see if she has anything coming up. We shall see. No. That's it. She directed 6 episodes of Servant, and she directed The Watchers. I don't see anything upcoming that she might possibly be working on. Yeah, so Abenivi asks, is this the daughter that sings? Okay, so no. So the daughter, he has all daughters. M. Night Shyamalan has all daughters. He has 3 daughters, okay? The eldest daughter, I believe, is the daughter who sings, who was in Trap. That's his eldest daughter, even though she is very tiny looking. She is the eldest. She is a singer, an R&B singer. She also plays piano and a couple other instruments, I believe. So she is the musicality part of the family. She's also done, I believe, soundtrack work for some of his other movies and shows. Ishana Shyamalan is director. So, and he has another daughter, the youngest daughter. I think she's under the age of 18 or maybe just turned 18 or something like that. So she's not in the industry whatsoever, but his other 2 daughters are. So I hope that clarifies things. So yeah. So Melissa says, I saw this movie last night. To be honest, she was underwhelming. Which is worse? Wow. Faye says, do you want to see something upcoming from her? Well, the thing is, I want to see something different. I wish that this wasn't her first attempt, because it kind of feels like something that her dad would do. And I was really kind of hoping that she would not do something similar to her father. And we're going to get into another person whose first film as a Nepo baby went a little bit better. But I feel like this wasn't really, to me, a good first outing. Like, it wasn't bad, but to go with what? Who said it was? Melissa. Melissa said it was underwhelming, and I agree. I felt like it was just not the best, representation. But maybe if she, once again, if you as a director and a writer enjoyed the project that you put out and you're happy with it, then guess what? That's it. Because you're trying to get the stuff that's out of your head onto the screen or onto the paper. So kudos to you. So obviously she was happy with what she did. And that's really all that matters for her. Obviously, as, the viewing public, we weren't really feeling it. I personally wasn't feeling it because I would have liked for her to not do the same thing as her dad. I wish the movie didn't have a twist. I also, because this was based off of a book. The book is by A.M. Shine, because obviously it says writers Ishana Shyamalan and A.M. Shine. A.M. Shine is the writer of the original source material. I feel like I would have liked to maybe see her, write something of her own and not do something that was, developed, or not do an existing material. Maybe she did something existing because she's not comfortable writing herself. I don't know. I don't know her personally, so this is all speculation. But yeah, so maybe she, did something that was already existing because she just wanted to kind of get her feet wet in a feature for the first time and wanted to do something existing. But I feel like to choose something, once again, that had twists in it, that was a choice. And if the original source material doesn't have twists in it and she put twists in it, I feel like that's kind of worse. Because now you're definitely emulating your father. And maybe you want to. Because I've seen interviews where she said she grew up on the sets, of the movies he was making. So that's where she kind of got her experience from. And that's perfectly fine. But also, do you want to be the same replica of someone? Or are you trying to stand on your own? So that's where I kind of felt like this was a missed opportunity for you to step out and do something of your own accord. And it just felt like M. Night Shyamalan 2.0. And that's where I was like, also like was said earlier, the cinematography was not good. It was bad. So let's go to the chat and see what's going on in here. What's being said? Will says she was supposed to direct a French movie called Garbage. Oh, wait, she did that already. Wow. That's messed up. Shots fired from the chat. Will, I thought you were a fan of his. Are you not a fan of the whole family? You're just a fan of his? Okay, that's crazy. You're taking shots. May, she can sing really well. She's the most talented. I think that his daughter, I can't remember the young woman's name, the singer. I think she can sing. I think she's a talented music artist. If you've all seen my review for Trapped, or if you haven't seen my review for Trapped, she did not act. She's not an actress. That could be because those were the words that were given to her by her father, or that could be because she cannot act. We will not know, but I don't want to find out. As far as I'm concerned, for what I've seen, she unfortunately cannot act. And I think that she should continue to sing. I think she's very talented. She obviously has musicality, and she also can play instruments, which is very rare in the music industry these days. So she obviously has talent, but the acting portion, no. May's asking, Will, aren't you a fan of his? That's what I thought. Well, I thought you were a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I'm confused why you didn't see the movie. Abin Evie says, I wasn't happy with what she did. My life matters, my time matters. I agree. Melissa says, since the movie is still fresh in my head, I do think she's better than him. Oh, bless your heart, Melissa. Bless your heart. I think she's better than her father. I just think she played it safe. See, I think because this is her first movie that she has the capacity to definitely be better than her father. But I think that she, like you said, she wanted to play it safe. I don't know why, she made the choice to specifically do something that was already written. The interview that I had watched, I believe she said that she read the book and she really liked the source material because it was like a dark fairy tale, and she kind of gravitated to those types of things. So maybe the story really resonated with her, and that's the reason why she wanted to develop it. And once again, because I haven't read the source material, I don't know how faithful her adaptation was to the source material and what she decided to change. But I don't think that this was successful. I do remember reading some reviews of people that had seen both the movie and read the source material, and they were a bit underwhelmed. Let's see if I can find it, because I like reading user reviews on IMDb. I'm not a Rotten Tomatoes person. I've never really cared about Rotten Tomatoes, but I do love an IMDb. So I believe there was someone on here that had actually read it. Oh, wow. It's the first one. Okay. Wow. That was helpful. Okay. So this person gave it a 5 out of 10, and they said mediocre adaptation of a great horror novel. So we're just going to read this one thing here. Oh, this is long. Okay. No, it's not that long. This person here says, I've often thought of this novel since consuming the audiobook in a couple days last year. I've recommended it to a lot of fellow horror readers too. I personally feel that the film adaptation falls incredibly short of what it could have been. The novel is beautifully crafted with suspense and character development, whereas the movie offers 2D characters that are simply there just because. Their faces remain blank the majority of the movie, and their line delivery is flat and almost always as if they're bored talking. Almost like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. In true Shyamalan fashion, yes, it's M. Night's daughter who directed it, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Wow, this person is just saying everything that we said in the chat. Okay. The twist is a huge moment. While it does get revealed, it also changes a huge part of the original ending of the book, which makes the overall story even more of a 2D horror twist. The book's ending gave me chills. The movie's ending gave me cliche horror. I will say I was eager to see who would play the character of Madeline, as she is such a force in the book as the most interesting character, as well as the one who has been trapped in the forest the longest. And I'm not going to say her name again, y'all. I'm not going to butcher this woman's name again, especially since, nope, not going to do it. The beautiful woman who played Madeline portrays her beautifully. The overall set design and atmosphere of the film is also done well. I disagree. Which helps, but also makes the movie's poor script and characters feel all the more disappointing at times. While I won't actively encourage not seeing the movie, I do encourage you to check out the book by A.M. Shine. I'm also happy that an author whose work I appreciate getting the attention of Hollywood to have his work made into a different media form. Let's hope if his other works become film or television adaptations that they'll be given the adaptation they deserve. I think that's the only review we need to read of the movie. So for someone that actually did read the book and see the movie, it kind of goes to what we thought, that it was a little bit shallow. So there you go. There you go, everyone. What did we learn? In the chat, we have Will saying that you and M. Night Shyamalan are on hiatus. You really keep saying that, Will. I don't know, man. I feel like you might have given up on your man, so it's kind of messed up. Faye says her singing and musical talents are equal to her acting. Shots fired. I think her singing is definitely better than her acting. Because her acting is... There was no acting. May says... I love that Google says message redacted. That's hilarious. May says Shyamalan mutes all of the characters in his movies, which is crazy considering he's worked with some great actors. Yes. Accurate. So, Appanevi says, so the root of the problem is the actual writing. Womp. You want time to, don't you? What? Will, are you okay? Because what is this writing? You want time to, don't you? What? I don't know what you're saying, but we're going to come back to you when you're making sense. So with that being said, I did not really care for The Watchers. I do feel like she could do better in the future, but she would need to take a step away from what her father's doing and kind of do something for herself. I also don't know if she has the capacity to write. And if she adapted the source material in this way, then that kind of means that she might not have the capacity to write, because the review that we looked over, the person said that the source material was a lot better developed and fleshed out, and what ended up being on screen was not that. So I'm not entirely sure that maybe she knows how to adapt other people's work. So yeah. We shall see if she does anything in the future. She doesn't have anything lined up currently. So, Will says, you want me to give him up, don't you? Oh, no. Listen, if you support him, okay? Support your lover. Support this man and his whole family. Listen, I was more leaning to being okay with seeing The Watchers than I was with Trap, knowing that Trap was directly from him. As much as I love Josh Hartnett, that was pure M. Night Shyamalan. Whereas like this, I was like, oh, maybe she'll do something. No. Melissa says, if she can't write, then find someone who can. There's so many writers. Girl, yes. Some of them are in the chat. I'm a writer. May is a writer. Will at Quiverful Productions is a writer. Robert is a writer. There are writers here. Fund us. Well, I don't know if I want to be funded by M. Night Shyamalan, but we'll get to that later, because M. Night Shyamalan is doing a twofer on this list today. I'll tell you what. So yeah, what would you all in the chat rate The Watchers? Because I feel like it was just, it's right up there with Apartment 7A. It's just and The Watchers was would I watch either one of these movies again? No. So, what would any of you rate this movie, The Watchers? And would you want to see anything from Ishana Shyamalan again if she decides to not go in the direction of her father? Let's see what the chat is saying. May said Trap was terrible. Yes, it was terrible. Melissa says, I wish Janet was in the chat. Me too. I do wish Janet was in the chat. Janet, where are you? Melissa said, I write. Melissa, you write? Hey, another writer. I see you, girl. Okay. Strive for More says, remember, Sofia Coppola, she was not a good actress, but ended up being a pretty good director. Maybe she'll find her way. That is very true. You are right about that. Sofia Coppola could not act. But she is a really, really good director. But see, I think that's where his other daughter is. Like she's not an actress, but she found her road, her path. Her path is music. If this daughter, Ishana, wants to be a director, and that's obviously what she wants to do because she's been gearing up to do features. She's been directing episodes of Servant. She's been directing, her sister's music videos. So obviously she wants to do features. So I think that for her to really step outside of, what this is, she would really need to step outside of her father's shadow. And I hope that she does that. I hope she does something on her own. I also hope that if she can write your own stuff, girl. Write your own stuff. Like, come on. Go ahead. And if you write your own stuff and then you find out that it sucks, well, get help. Get help. get help. I don't know. All right, so Faye said Sofia Coppola is average. Wow. Once again, Faye is taking shots in the chat. She gave Apartment 7A a negative review. She said the entire Shyamalan family was just not great. And now she's saying Sofia Coppola is average. Wow. I like Sofia Coppola. I disagree. I think she's above average. But I do agree that it's important to find what you're good at. And she realized that acting was not her foray. So that's important. Let's see. May has given the movie a 3 out of 10. Wow. Okay, so what else are you guys rating this movie? We got a 3 out of 10 for this. So that is below Apartment 7A currently. Apartment 7A has gotten a little bit better. Well, I don't know, because Faye gave Apartment 7A a negative. There was no number associated with that. It was just a negative. So let me know what you guys end up rating it. But if you don't like looking at the darkness and poor CGI and a badly developed script, I would say maybe pass on this. But if you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, you will probably like this movie. Actually, you'll probably actually really like the movie. If you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan, I think you'll definitely enjoy The Watchers. So, wow, Faye has given the movie a negative. Oh, I'm sorry. She says, I'm going to give this a double negative. Wow. Okay. Okay, Faye. All right, so moving on to the next movie. Let me know still what you guys are rating this as we move on to the next movie. The next movie, we're getting into things that were better. And to slide in from this movie into the next movie, I think is fitting because M. Night Shyamalan did, he's associated with the next movie. So, the next movie that we are going to be talking about today is Caddo Lake. Caddo Lake is a Max original movie starring Dylan O'Brien. I am a fan of Dylan O'Brien. It's the Maze Runner and Teen Wolf. I really like him. He doesn't really pigeonhole himself into like a certain genre. He does things just all over the place. And he's also like pretty solid in like changing his age depending on what role he's doing, because I don't know how old he is, but sometimes it looks like teenager, sometimes it looks like grown man. I don't know how old he is, but I do like Dylan O'Brien. So Caddo Lake is about, reading the synopsis here, when an 8-year-old girl disappears on Caddo Lake, a series of past deaths and disappearances began to link together, altering a broken family's history. Now, before I go into this, let's check into the chat. Also, has anyone seen Caddo Lake? Because this movie was produced by M. Night Shyamalan, and it also came out of his production company. He didn't write it, he didn't direct it, but it came out of his production company, and he produced it. So, let's go into the chat. Let's see what the chat is saying. Melissa said that she would give The Watchers a 5. Wow, that's slightly lower than you gave Apartment 7A. Will said, that's petty. Strive for more. I have movies to rate. I will view them both. You don't have to, though. You You don't need to view them, do you? I mean, it's right now, if you watch both of those two movies that we spoke about, Apartment 70 and The Watchers, that's like almost 4 hours. Are you sure you want to spend 4 hours? You sure you want to do that? I think there's better ways to spend your time. Melissa says, I just think she needs help. I agree. I do think that Ashana Shyamalan needs a little bit of help. Like, why aren't there famous assistant directors? It's a really good question, Melissa. Why aren't there famous assistant directors? And have any assistant directors gone on to become notable directors? I feel like that's something that we need to dip into at some point. Maybe her assistant should be someone who is already established. But see, I think probably the issue with that is if you're an assistant director and you're trying to carve your own path and do that, would you want to assist someone that you know is like completely new, especially if you might not, believe in the project or like the project and you're just taking it as a job? Is that something that you want to do? I don't know. Faye says predictable mediocrity at best. Wow. Once again, shots are continuously fired from the chat from Faye. Faye is holding some type of submachine weaponry and firing shots all over the place this evening. But going into Caddo Lake, so I saw the trailer for this movie. First of all, let me tell you how I saw the trailer for this. I saw the trailer for this movie on YouTube. I think I've been so traumatized by M. Night Shyamalan movies in the past. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I think I've been so traumatized by M. Night Shyamalan movies in the past that I know his production company. So the moment the trailer started and I saw Blinding Edge, I was like, that's M. Night Shyamalan's company. I was like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. I was like that little kid where he's just like, I was like, no, this can't be it. But I was like, okay, I'm going to need to do some research on this because if he directed it, we're going to have a problem. I don't know. But he did not direct it. I really like Dylan O'Brien, as I've said. So I was like, okay. I also really like Lauren Ambrose. I have the cast pulled up. Let me pull it up a little bit more so you guys can see. So the cast has Dylan O'Brien. It has Eliza Scanlen. I feel like I've seen her in something else. What else has she been in? Where have I seen this young woman before? Does anyone know what she's been? She was in Old. Wow, she was in Old. I didn't see that movie, but I do remember her face. I do remember her face from the trailers. Devil All the Time. She was in Devil. I did see Devil All the Time, and I actually kind of liked that movie. It was with Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland. It was very interesting. Like Southern. There was a lot going on in that movie, but I do remember her from that, yeah. So, very, very interesting. And then it had Caroline Falk playing the young woman Anna, and Lauren Ambrose, who I am a fan of Lauren Ambrose. I've been a fan of Lauren Ambrose since Can't Hardly Wait, when her and Seth Green were like a couple in the movie. That's like old school 90s like teen movie. Yeah. I'm dating myself. I don't care. I really like that movie. And also from 6 Feet Under. I love 6 Feet Under. It's one of my it's up there as like one of my favorite shows of all time. And so it's kind of weird to me seeing Lauren Ambrose as like a mom when I've been watching her since she was like a teenager. But time is a son of a bitch, y'all. So yeah. But so I went into this like, okay, after I saw the trailer, I had to look up to see how involved M. Night Shyamalan was in this because, once again, I'm not really a fan. But once I saw that he was not directing it nor writing it, I felt good in my soul. I'll be honest. I felt a sense of relief. I said, okay. All right. So, as you can see here, let me pull it up for you guys a little bit. The two people that directed it were also the two people who wrote it. So, shout out to them. Now, Caddo Lake is actually not, I don't know, for any of you that's seen it in the chat, let me know if you guys have seen the movie in the chat. Definitely let me know. Because I saw that May said that she saw it and liked it. Mimi, hi Mimi, how are you. Oh my God, I gotta catch up. I missed literally everything. Sorry for the caps. I'm not yelling. I'm just excited. You missed just a recap for those of you that are just joining, and also hi for all of you that are here. Thanks so much. I love you all. Mimi, you missed two movies. We went over Apartment 7A, which was the prequel to Rosemary's Baby. And we also just finished going over The Watchers, and we are just now dipping into Caddo Lake. So you've missed two movies. This is the third one, and we have one after this. So yes, let's see. Strive for more. Lauren Ambrose also did pretty good in Juliet in Shakespeare in the Park. That's so right. First of all, Shakespeare in the Park is an amazing experience that, you know, because I'm in New York. So you get an opportunity as a New Yorker to go to Shakespeare in the Park. Are tickets difficult to procure? Absolutely. They're very difficult. But when you do get a chance to go, it's an amazing experience. Yes, there are some amazing actors and actresses that have taken the time to do Shakespeare in the Park over the years. And Lauren Ambrose was in Shakespeare in the Park at one point, I believe. But yeah, I've always been a fan of hers since Can't Hardly Wait and 6 Feet Under. So yeah, I don't know, why is Mimi throwing up? What's happening? Are you okay, Mimi? Is that because of the movies that we were talking about, or is that just, I don't know what's going on. But yeah. Oh, Mimi's throwing up because both of those movies were horrible. Okay, so you're caught up then. No, you didn't miss anything, Mimi. You're fine. That's so funny. Okay, so once I had found out that the movie was not directed nor written by M. Night Shyamalan, I breathed a sigh of relief. I went into the movie. Now, also, here's the thing. When I watched that trailer, I must admit, usually when I watch trailers for certain movies, I can kind of tell the direction of where the movie's going and what's going to happen. You know, you watch enough movies, also because I'm a writer, you watch enough movies, you also write, you kind of see the trajectory where things are going. So it's very rare that when I watch a movie, I'm surprised at the direction that it's going to be going in. So I watched the trailer and I immediately knew what was going to happen in the movie. Now, I'm actually not going to spoil this movie because I liked Caddo Lake. I'm not going to spoil the movie because for those of you that haven't seen it, watch it. I thought it was okay. Like it was cool. I appreciated it. What I will say is that it did remind me of a couple things that have previously existed in the way that it was done. Could one argue that there was a twist in this? Well, hold on a second. Let's pause on if there was a twist. Caddo Lake is actually not based off of any previous material at all. It is a place. Like Caddo Lake is a place that exists in this country that there's always been kind of like lore and like folk tales around, like, you know, disappearances, because people have actually gone missing on Caddo Lake. I don't know if any of you have watched The Office, but it's kind of like when Jim Carrey made the guest appearance and he was like, people go missing in the Finger Lakes. People apparently go missing on Caddo Lake. That's not funny though. People have gone missing. But people have gone missing in real life on Caddo Lake. So it was more about them taking, you know, kind of stories that have actually happened with people that have gone missing and kind of like putting this like supernatural spin on it, on like how people could have possibly gone missing. So I appreciated that. Now, what this movie reminded me of, for those of you that have seen what I'm about to say, you'll get it. And if you've not seen it, then you'll be like, okay. If you've seen the show Dark on Netflix, or if you've seen the movie Predestination with Ethan Hawke, you will understand the direction that this movie is going in terms of like a twist that might have happened, or how this movie is going, like the direction that the movie is going in. Even though I watched the trailer and I kind of knew that, and obviously when I was watching the movie, I was right in assuming all of the things that were going to happen, I still enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I thought that the way that they did it was very smart. Like, it was really interesting. That there was like a specific place on the lake where these things were happening. I also thought it was very interesting kind of where it took them, if that makes sense. I'm not going to spoil this movie, but I thought it was interesting, like, where it took them. I also really enjoyed the performances of the cast. Like, Dylan O'Brien, like, he was in it. my dude was struggling. Okay, like, my dude was struggling from the beginning of the movie. He was struggling. He was struggling to the end of the movie. Okay, I thought his performance was really good. I thought he pretty much held it down. Lauren Ambrose, she I feel like her and her daughter needed therapy, because there was clearly some generational trauma that was going on, but obviously that was generational trauma throughout the whole movie. If you know, you know. And Eliza Scanlen, I thought she also did a really good job. So I'm not going to dip into the movie too much because I really don't want to spoil it for those of you that haven't seen it. But if you have seen those two things that I talked about, you'll definitely like kind of get the aspect of it. And if you haven't seen the movie Predestination, please give that movie a watch. It's a really very interesting movie. Very, very interesting movie that I feel like 5 people have seen, me being one of the 5. But I thought it was really cool. But yeah, I really liked Caddo Lake, and it kind of also proves to me that once again, I don't think that M. Night Shyamalan should be doing the directing bit. I'm not sure that he should be doing the writing bit, or if he's writing, I'm not sure he should be directing, because as you'll see in an upcoming video on the channel, the successful or more successful than his writing directing endeavors that he had was the movie Devil, but he didn't direct that movie. He wrote that movie and someone else directed it, and I felt like that was slightly more successful than his other cinematic outings. So to me, I feel like maybe he can't adapt things properly, and maybe he should just write, or maybe he shouldn't write. I don't know, but it was kind of nice. Excuse me. It was kind of nice that he wasn't involved in this. It was also nice to see that the 2 people that wrote the movie also directed the movie team up, and I thought they did a really good job. I like that the movie was very grounded. For all of the, kind of mysterious things that were happening in the movie, it still felt extremely grounded in the real world. And I also thought that they did a really good job capturing the setting of like the lake and the town, like this town that exists, which is literally, called Caddo Lake. It sits on this lake. So people, like, obviously you can drive, but people use the lake to like get around from point A to point B. And you kind of learn in the movie that there's like a dam that's obviously been keeping the water back. But like over the course of time, there was a period where, the dam was under construction. And then there was a period where like, the dam flooded and things like that. And that ties into the importance of the movie. And so this lake really does ground everything that's happening in the movie. So like, I want to say 90% of what's going on in the movie, no, not 90, maybe 80% of the things that happen in this movie actually takes place on this lake, either in a boat or someone wading in the water. Something is happening. But I thought it was actually really well done, and I liked it. And I would recommend for you to take a look-see. If you were on the fence because M. Night Shyamalan's name is on it, don't worry. He didn't direct it. He didn't write it either. So you'll probably enjoy yourself. But let me know what you guys, for any of y'all in the chat that have seen Caddo Lake, what you would rate it. But this was one of the few movies that I've seen of recent that I would actually happily recommend for people to watch. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the cast a lot. I thought Dylan O'Brien did a great job. Lauren Ambrose did a great job. Caroline Falk as Anna, she looks so much older in this picture than she did in the movie. I don't know how long ago they shot the movie, but she was pretty much a kid, but she did a really good job for the small part of the movie that she was in. And Eliza Scanlen, she also did a really great job. And yeah, I thought the cast held it down. Like they were pretty solid in this. Also, the Diana Hopper, also solid job from her too. And Eric Lang, I know I've seen him in something else. I know I've seen him in another thing. It's going to bother me. So I'm going to click on his name and we're going to go together and find out what else this man has been in. Because I know he's been in something. Or maybe he's just one of those people that have been in everything and you kind of like can't put your finger. Narcos. There it was. Okay. I was like, what has he been in? It's Narcos. At least that's what my brain was immediately telling me. Oh, and Perry Mason. Okay, like he's been in, obviously he's been in like many things. But yeah, off the top of my head, I was like, where is he from? So let me know what any of you that have seen Caddo Lake would rate this movie. But let's dip into the chat and see what's going on here. Yes. Strive for More says 6 Feet Under was excellent. It was. I really like 6 Feet Under. May says people go missing at the Finger Lakes. Yes, people do go missing at the Finger Lakes. Mimi says I like Lauren Ambrose. So do I. I've always been a fan of hers. May, oh my God, you saw Predestination. Awesome. Yes, Predestination was a really, really good, underrated movie. Once again, I don't know who saw it. So there's two. You're one of the five. So it's the two of us that have seen Predestination now. Mimi says, I was thinking of January Jones. I don't know who Lauren Ambrose is. January Jones was in Mad Men. She was Don Draper's wife in Mad Men. She also played one of the mutants in X-Men First Class. That is January Jones. Yes. Strive for More says, I'm definitely going to check one of the two movies you mentioned. Predestination was one. What was the other one? The other movie that I said that you all should watch or not watch. Well, the first two, those were not recommended, but you should definitely look at Predestination. Predestination was cool. Robert said the movie was watchable, and Faye agrees with Robert. Wow. So Faye, please let me know what you would rate this out of 10 because your ratings have been negative so far. Robert, I'd also love to know what you're rating it. Well, actually, Robert's ratings on a scale, watchable is one of his ratings. So the fact that he watched it and said it was watchable is what would be the equivalent of someone recommending it. So Robert recommends it. Faye is agreeing that it was watchable. That's not a number, Faye. I want to hear a number from you only because you've been giving negatives. So where's the numbers? Give us the numbers. Give us the candy. Anyone else that's seen Caddo Lake, let me know what you would rate it. But I would recommend it for anyone that hasn't seen it. I definitely enjoyed it. The cast was great. Shout out to the directors. I also thought the cinematography in this movie was really cool because they really focused on the lake a lot and the setting, and obviously that's what the movie was. See, if the title of the movie is a place where the movie is going to be focused, focus on that. Because guess what? The recent Salem's Lot movie, which I don't know if any of you seen that, but the video that I just did of that, I was not happy. It's called Salem's Lot. Did they focus on Salem's Lot? No, they didn't do a lot in that movie. But once again, watch that video. I'm not going to go into that because okay. But obviously, they understood the assignment. The movie is called Caddo Lake. They focused on the lake. It's not that difficult. Faye says, I believe it to be a solid 2. Wow. First of all, we got a number from Faye. So, I mean, we're cooking with fire here, people. We got a number from Faye in the rating. So that's something. That's better than the negatives that she gave the other two movies. So if any of you have ratings for this movie, please put it in the chat. Mimi says, okay, I know who Lauren Ambrose is after Googling it. Wow. Okay. Yes, she's from 6 Feet Under and Can't Hardly Wait. Yes, if any of you have any thoughts about Caddo Lake, let me know in the chat what you would rate it. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, also let me know. Mimi says, I really like the movie. I did too. I thought it was cool. Even though I knew exactly where it was going and everything that was going to happen, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. 6 out of 10 for Mimi for Caddo Lake. Wow, with the 6 that you just gave it, the 2 that Faye gave it, I know May said that she liked it. I don't know what she's rating it. And Robert said it was watchable. Oh, May gave it a 7. Okay, listen, this is the highest average for a movie that we've gotten so far. This is the highest average that we've gotten thus far, and wow, this is high praise coming from this chat. So yes. Oh, my phone's ringing again. You gotta love a live interruption. That's my father. He's also, I'm not gonna put him on speakerphone. Father, I am live, and you're on my live because I'm answering the phone.
No, we're still live. I was trying to get on.
I'm still live, and I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it. Put your back into it.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. Yes, I'm still live, and I believe in you. And did you get to your destination safely?
I just pulled up.
All right. Well, I love you. I'm going to go back to my viewing audience, and I hope you were able to watch it. You've missed 3 movies, but you haven't seen any of them, nor do you know what we're talking about, so that's no great loss to you.
Nah. Now what else is new?
Okay. I love you very much.
Love you too.
That. I did not put my father on speaker because it could have gone either way with that call. But he was traveling. He got to his destination safely, so all is well. Okay, yes, in these lives, I answer phone calls from family because I love my family. All right, so we have one last movie that I wanted to live review for you all. You did overhear that, May. Yeah, I did say that. He did say that's what she said. So one last movie that I wanted to review, that was another movie that I enjoyed because I figured I'd do 4 movies, 2 where I'm like, and the other 2 where I'm like, okay. So the last movie that I'm going to live review for you all is another movie by a Nepo Baba, but I thought was done a little bit better. And that movie is Blink Twice, directed by Zoe Kravitz. I don't know if any of you saw this movie. It came out, I think, in the summertime, August, something or the other. I'm not sure. Let's go to the chat to see if there's any lingering results from Caddo Lake, because once again, definitely go check that out. Let's see. Mimi said, you know what? The movie was predictable. 5 out of 10. Okay. It was predictable. I agree with you. I saw the trailer and I was like, I know where this is going. But I did like it. It didn't take away from my experience. Sometimes, it can do that. But it didn't in this case. Mainly because I feel like the acting held it together. Sometimes, the acting in a predictable movie can make things a little bit more bearable. I feel like the acting in this actually kind of like made this movie a little bit better than it could have been, since I knew where everything was going to go. Strive for more. We love you too. Thanks. Love you too. Okay, so yes, the last movie that I wanted to live review for you all is Blink Twice, directed by Zoe Kravitz. What did Strive for More say? Oh, and they just separated. I want to see this movie. I heard it was good. They separated? I heard a rumor of that. I hope that's not true. But yeah. I'm a fan of Zoe Kravitz. I really like her acting. And this is her directorial debut. So just like with The Watchers was Shauna Shyamalan's directorial debut, as a Bebe Nepo, Blink Twice is the directorial debut of Bebe Nepo, because for those of you that don't know, even though I feel like you would, Zoe Kravitz is obviously the daughter of 2 very famous people. Okay. So this is her directorial debut. It's a psychological thriller, and just, in case you don't know, she's the daughter of Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. Lisa Bonet, an actress, Lenny Kravitz, a musician. That's going to play into what I tell you all about this movie. So we're just going to read, the little synopsis here. The little small synopsis. We don't want spoilers. I will not be spoiling this movie because I'd like you all to take a look. So the summary here says, when tech billionaire Slater King, who's played by Channing Tatum, meets cocktail waitress Frida at his fundraising gala, he invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. As strange things start to happen, Frida questions her reality. And that's pretty much all that says, and that's also, all I'm going to go into. Now, this movie was directed by Zoe Kravitz. She also wrote it with someone else. I don't believe it was based on anything pre-existing. So she did, write the movie. Shout out to her. Okay, did anyone in the chat happen to see this movie? Did you guys give it a look-see? Did anyone get a chance to see Blink Twice? Let me know about it in the chat. Let's see what the chat is saying. May says, I've seen everything Zoe's in. That sounds suspicious. Mimi said, Zoe needs to get it together. She's over 30. Wake up. Wow. Shots fired from Mimi. Strive for More says, I'm so proud of Miss Kravitz. I know she's going to do great things. Listen, I was excited to see the movie. First of all, because I like Zoe Kravitz. I support, her cinema endeavors. So I was like, okay, girl, you directed something? All right, let me check it out. Also, the cast. The cast, I was like, okay, because one, I like Naomi Aki. I think she is a really good actress. I also love Aaliyah Shawkat. She looks like there's someone that she looks exactly like. Oh, you know what? It's Alana Glazer. She looks like Alana Glazer, which they made fun of in an episode of Broad City. If any of you have seen Broad City, if you know, you know. But yes, I like Leah Shawkat. She's also in a HBO show. I think it's like, I forgot what the name of the show is, but it's like a cult show where she's like the head of a cult or something like that. The cast of this movie was very, very interesting because it had like newer actresses with older established male actors, which I thought was very interesting. Also in the tech contextual of like the movie, that also made a lot of sense. So as you can see here, let me scroll up so you all can see what I see. Okay, so the movie has Naomi Aki, Channing Tatum was playing Slater King, Aaliyah Shawkat was playing Jess. You have Christian Slater, who's playing Vic. Simon Rex, I know I've seen him before too. I've seen this man before. He's playing Cody. Adria Arjona. I feel like I just butchered her last name, probably because I wasn't looking. Adria Arjona. I think I got it right that time. Playing Sarah. I actually really like her. I heard her and Jason Momoa are dating. I think they're dating. I support that. Which I think is also interesting because, Jason Momoa used to be with, Lisa Bonet, and he's technically Zoe Kravitz, like, stepdad, and so, like, his girlfriend is in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. Anywho, Haley Joel Osment. There's also an actress named Liz Carabell. I've never seen her in anything, but in the movie, she said she was from the Bronx. I wonder if she is. I kind of need to know if she is, because when she said it in the movie, it felt like it came from a real place. It felt like she was actually from the Bronx. Wow, Liz Carabell is a proud first-generation Dominican-American born and raised in New York City. Yeah. When she said it, it felt real. So, props to you, girl. You did it. It felt so real when she said she was from the Bronx. I felt like it was so accurate. Anywho, back to the cast. You also have Levin Hawke. Wait, is he a part of like a Ethan Hawke? Like, because he's kind of looking like he might be a part of that family. I feel like he's a part of that family. He is a part of that family. Wow, it's his parents, Ethan Hawke. Okay, so this movie that's really interesting. Okay, I didn't know they had a son, because I just know Maya Hawke, who's Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter. She acts and she also does music. So she is a brother, and he was in this movie. The more you know. Okay. And then you have True Mullen and Gina Davis, which was also very interesting to me that Gina Davis was in here, and also Kyle MacLachlan. So, yeah, the cast was the core cast, and it was very interesting. So, I'm not going to spoil this movie for anyone, but I am going to give you like a little bit of the setup of kind of like what goes down, just because I want to get your thoughts on how you would approach this situation. But first, let's go to the chat. Let's see. All right, so Strive for More says, yes, April, I was about to say that she looks like an actress from your show, Broad City. Is that the name? She does look like her. You're on a roll with the name butchering. Thank you. I don't mean to butcher people's names, even though my name has been butchered my entire life, but I'm not intentionally trying to butcher people's names. I'm also blind, so I probably should have put on my glasses, but I didn't. I took them off, and I'm sorry. Shout out to my sister from the Bronx. Nah, she was a real one in the movie. Once again, if anyone's seen this movie in the chat, let me know. I feel like a lot of people might not have seen it. And I was kind of on the fence about whether or not I should do like an actual like separate review for this, like a separate video, but I did want to talk to you all here live because I wasn't sure if anyone actually did see the movie because I actually really liked it. So as the description said, she's a waitress. Her friend, who's played by Alicia Shawkat, is also, they're kind of like, not so much like waitresses, but they work kind of like at events. So they're more like they're like cocktail waitresses. It said cocktail waitress, yeah. So they're like event waitresses. And basically Naomi Aki's character, Frida, is basically kind of obsessed with Channing Tatum's character. And he's at this event, and her and her friend, they're supposed to be working the event, but instead they decide to like change their clothes and be a part, like sneak into the event like they're actually supposed to be there. And in the process of doing that, you know, she kind of bumps into him and he kind of takes a liking to her, and they all spend the evening together, the rest of the event together, you know, drinking and laughing and ahaha. And then he's about to leave, and he's just like, oh my God, you know, we're going to this island for the weekend. Do you want to come? And of course, her and her friend are like, oh my God, dream come true. Like, yes, let's go. Now, backstory, you kind of learn that, like, Channing Tatum's character, Slater, is kind of one of those, like, rich tech billionaire assholes who, you know, had some wild, crazy things going on. He had to issue one of those, like, apologies, like, you know, I didn't mean to do it. And, you know, I feel like I'm just really sorry if anyone, you know, if I hurt anyone or did anything. One of those kind of, like, half-assed apologies, you know, so that you could get back in the good graces of, you know, the mainstream. You're saying what you need to say. He took time away from the public eye and came back. And so now he used to have these very lavish parties filled with debauchery, but now he says he goes to this island and becomes very zen anytime now. So he doesn't need to do things like that anymore. Now listen, let me tell you something. Okay, if I want to know from the chat, like, let me know right now. If you go to a party and you meet someone of note, a celebrity, any celebrity that you really like, okay, it could be of either sex, a celebrity that you really like, and that celebrity is just like, hey, we're about to go to this island, like this private island, and it's just gonna be really low key. We're just gonna relax, you know. Do you want to come? The question that I put to the chat is, would y'all go? Now, this is the celebrity of your choice. So I need you to put in the chat, first of all, who's the celebrity that you would say yes to if you would do that? Or is there even a celebrity that would come to you and be like, hey, we're going to a private island. Would you want to go? Because listen, does that sound like a beautiful experience? Sure. But also the type of person that he is, when he came up to her and asked her that, I don't really think that's the type of person that you should be saying yes to. But then again, like I said, you are led to believe that she is obsessed with him. Like, she's stalking his Instagram. She's liking all his stuff. Like, she's looking for her opportunity to, like, you know, see him and slip in there. So when he invites her and her friends to the island, she's just like, absolutely, yes, let's go. Let's do it. But I wouldn't know. Would you go to technically a stranger's island? Is he famous? Is he a celebrity? Is he rich? Sure. But he's a stranger. A stranger. Stranger danger. Let me see in the chat. Let's go. Let's look. What's saying? Okay. Mimi said, name butchering shows humility. Girl, I'm struggling. Struggling. May said, Alicia Shawkat and Ayana Glaze are definitely twins. Yeah, they look very similar. Both gorgeous women, but they look the same. Makia, hi Makia, hey, what's up, girl? Blink Twice, proud of you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like Blink Twice. Strive for More says, yes, I mean, no, wait, hold on. You gotta elaborate on that. Strive for More, what do you mean? Who are you saying yes to? Whose island are you going to? What's going on? What's going on? Mimi said, I met Adrian Brody. He's a real one. Okay, so you met Adrian Brody, who's also from New York. He's from Queens. Shout out to Adrian Brody. I like Adrian Brody too, like for real though. But if he said you want to come to an island, is Adrian Brody, Mimi, is Adrian Brody the person that if he said you want to come to this island, did you go to the island? That's what the actual question is. The question is, are you going to an island with a celebrity, or influencer or person of note that has invited you, even though they have a track record of not doing the best job? Let's see. In the chat, Faye says no one is worth it. Agreed. Because you don't know that person. Strive for More said, I was about to follow Denzel Washington when I met him. And then I had to remember, wait a minute, the man's married and his wife is right there. And so was my husband. Wow. What a backstory. That's so funny. Mimi said, what's on the island? Listen, I have 4 kids. Girl, what's on the island? Listen, Mimi, you're relaxing. The island is, you're taking a load off. You're going to have fun. What's on the island? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what's on the island. You chilling. We on the island. He invited you. Why are you asking questions? He's not giving you answers. You either going to the island or you're not going to the island. That's all I want to know. Who's going to this island? So you get to the island, right? Once again, I'm not spoiling this movie. I'm just giving you the setup. You get to the island. Immediately upon arriving to the island, I'm going to need your phone. Give me your phone. You can't, listen, this is a place of zen. We don't really like phones. Everyone hand over your phones, and we're going to keep them real safe. We're going to put them away, but we just want you to be in the moment. We just want you to experience the island. Just be, mind you, you came to the island on a private plane. So there's only one way to get on the island, one way to get off the island. That their plane. And the plane is the plane, that's it. Okay? And then you get to the island, they're like, phones, please. Money, please. Phones. We need your phones. We need your phones because, like, we just need you to vibe. You don't need your phone. You vibing. And you on the island. You got drinks. You know, we smoking. They got the ganja. You're smoking. You're drinking. You don't need your phone. You're vibing. It's a vibe. And you can leave whenever you want. But why would you want to leave? No one needs to leave. Because we vibing. We on the island. Listen. Mimi said, yes? Wait. You still saying yes? Wow. Strive for More said, girl, you better worry about what's on that island. Listen. Once again, I'm not spoiling this for anyone. But, long story short, they're having a great time on the island. But, every night, they do, they have fun, they drink, they laugh, and the next morning she cannot remember for the life of her how she got back to her room, when she got back to her room, and every single night she wakes up and there's dirt under her fingernails and she's super, super confused. Now she's like a nail tech, like on the side, she does nails. So she has these really, really, like, beautiful nails that she did. And every day she wakes up and she looks at her nails and there's dirt under it. And she scrubs the dirt. And then the next day she's like, they're vibing. We on the island. And she wakes up again back in bed with the dirt. And she's just like, am I losing time? But also, I'm having a great time. Because I'm here. I'm vibing. And I'm with Slater King. And he's so cute. And I like him. And we're vibing. And basically, you're forgetting. But you're having fun. But you're forgetting. Now, back to the chat. Mimi says, if this was Method Man, wow. I would go to that island and my husband can take care of those kids. The more you know. So for Mimi's husband, if Method Man asks her to go to an island, she's going. So just thought you should know ahead of time. Strive for More says, and now you asking for my phones? Hell no. That's why I won't go. There's no way out once you get there. I mean, listen. Why do you need phones when you're vibing? You're vibing. We're on an island. We're vibing. So, there's definitely, once again, I'm not going to spoil this movie because I really enjoyed it. But there's what you end up finding out and how the way that the movie goes. There's definitely a level of power dynamic that goes on. I would definitely say, for those of you that aren't down for explicit things happening in a sexual nature, trigger warning for you, because things are happening in a sexual nature in that movie. But the movie obviously did touch on some topics that are very prevalent today in the world and also in the entertainment industry, where there's an obvious kind of power dynamic over, young women who are just, looking to have a nice time or like meet new people, and older gentlemen, because the actors here that you have, you have Christian Slater and you have Haley Joel Osment, and in the movie, they're basically playing other rich men that are also coming to have a good time on the island. And so you have all these women, and these women are here, and none of the women actually know any of these men. They all just like were vibing at the party and agreed to come on this trip. But none of them know these men, and none of them know each other. These are all red flags. Red flags up and down, red flags all across. Okay? And you obviously find out that some nefarious things are going on. I will not spoil any of that, but I really did enjoy the movie. One of the things that I did, it was kind of like a gift and a curse. Now, obviously, this goes back to being a child, a product of entertainment. Obviously, Zoe Kravitz is Lenny Kravitz's daughter. She has a wealth of knowledge, and Lisa Bonet, and she has a wealth of knowledge about both movies and music. Okay, so the soundtrack of the movie was really good. The soundtrack kind of ranged across decades. Like, you had like older like soul music to like newer like R&B, like Latino music, everything across the board. Obviously, she's like flexing like her musicality and like how eclectic she is, which was fine. The only issue that I had is sometimes I felt like the music in the movie kind of almost took away from some of these very powerful scenes where a point was trying to be made, and then the music came in and it was almost kind of like bombastic. And it kind of took away from what could have been a more powerful scene if like either the music choice was different, or if the music was just a little bit like lower or muted and was like in the background as opposed to like running the scene. And so I did enjoy the soundtrack, but I did feel like in times it was kind of overshadowing some of the scenes of the movie. Because when there were songs. Now, not to say that the music was like over the entire like course, because obviously there's obviously a score also, and there's moments of like just utter silence and realization going on in the movie where there's no music. But for the times that there was music in the movie, it was kind of like punching you in the face, and I was kind of just like, damn, girl. But other than that, I really enjoyed the acting in the movie from the cast. Adriana Arjona, I loved what she was doing. I really like her as an actress too. Like, her character was, I think she was like an influencer that also had like, oh no, I'm sorry, she was like a reality TV star. Like, she was on Survivor, like, or a Survivor-esque type show. So she kind of was like, yeah, and when I did this on the show, like, it was almost kind of like, I guess, Survivor mixed with like Love Island or something like that. So she was like a reality TV show star, but she was kind of saying like, I know how to survive, I know how to do this and that. And so that kind of like came into play over the course of the movie. You got the girl who's playing Camila, that is clearly from the Bronx, and girlfriend was from the Bronx, like straight up, like not even respect. Because when that came into play, I was like, yeah, get it. So when the stuff starts to hit the fan in the movie, and, they kind of realize what's going on and why they're kind of like losing time, it is kind of like, damn. And I wouldn't say that there's more so like a twist, but it's more so like a kind of like realization where like you kind of had a feeling that that's what was going on, but it was like the extent to which it was going on was like, wow. So I did appreciate what she did with it. I think it was obviously like written from a place of like looking at how entertainment treats women and how the world kind of treats women, which was like, damn. But I really enjoyed the movie. And once again, yeah, there was some crazy stuff that happened in it. But I think since this is her first movie too, I feel like this was a really strong first movie coming from her. Like, she obviously had something to say and she said it. She obviously knew, like, I think compared to The Watchers, if we're comparing both of these, first movies from both of these, first time directors, actually, hold on, before I get into that, let's look at the chat. May said, I have a list of people. Wow, okay. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Marlon Wayans, Reggie Watt. Okay, wow. So anyone you'd go to the island with, you just on the island. All right, girl. So just, all right, have fun. They're taking the phone from you too. You just there with them. All right. Listen. Okay. I feel like you haven't seen the movie, because if you saw the movie, you probably wouldn't say that. But then again, also, I feel like the people that you named are not nefarious. I mean, I don't know them personally, but I feel like they're not nefarious. Whereas the men in this movie seemed sus to begin with. So I guess it's more so like, would you go to an island with someone sus? But if you're blinded, if you have blinders on and you're not seeing that, then obviously you go into the island anyway. But so go back to what I was saying. I feel like if you're comparing both The Watchers and you're comparing, Blink Twice as a directorial debut, I feel like Zoe Kravitz went into it very sure of herself. Like, this didn't seem like the movie of a first-time director. This seemed like someone that has been paying attention to cinematography. This seems like someone that's been, watching movies, doing like film studies, someone that's been like paying attention. And so she went into the movie knowing exactly how she wanted it to look, knowing the visuals that she wanted to capture, knowing the framing that she wanted to do, knowing the composition of certain shots, like knowing when she wanted a certain like musical beat to play, when she wanted a reveal to happen. Everything that I saw in Blink Twice was someone that was very certain of the things that they wanted to do in the movie. Whereas I feel like with The Watchers, it was from someone that was unsure and that was very tepid in their decision making and their filmmaking. And I think those are that was what I took from it, because these two movies also came out around the same time, which I thought was also very interesting. And I feel like when, they're also very different tone. The Watchers is kind of like a mysterious, like dark, brooding movie. And Blink Twice is really like bright and, really just like bombastic. Like it's kind of marketing it as like, hey, like flashy, you know what I mean? But when you watch it, the subject matter is so much deeper than like all of the glamour and the aesthetics. Whereas like The Watchers looks serious, but it feels hollow. It feels shallow. And so I think that like for this being Zoe Kravitz's first movie, I'm kind of proud of her. I really liked it. I'm not sure how many people like got around to seeing it, but I thought it was really interesting. There were parts of the movie, as I said before, when you write, when you direct, you see things, you see a pattern. So there were certain parts of it where I knew where it was going. The extent of which I knew it was going, no, I wouldn't say I knew the extent to which I knew it was going, but I would say I knew the general direction that was going. I really did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the performances of the cast. They showed up to act. So yeah. So did anyone here in the chat see Blink Twice, or did you want to see it? Or are you getting around to seeing it? Did it interest you in any way, shape, or form? I don't think it's on any streaming platform currently as of the date of this stream. I don't think it's available to stream anywhere. I think it's available to like rent, but I don't think it's available to like watch. But did anyone see it? Tell me in the chat if you saw it. But I feel like a lot of you didn't see it, and I'm glad that I didn't spoil it, because I do want you all to watch it. So let's see. May said, I've seen everything Zoe's been in or around or near. Okay, May. I don't know how to tell you this, but I think you might have a problem. Or maybe you're in love with Zoe Kravitz. But either way, I respect it. But yeah, has anyone in the chat seen Blink Twice? I feel like it's just May. May might be the only person that's seen it. Other people might. I don't think Strive for More saw it. but I feel like the only person that saw it might be May. And even though Mimi didn't see it, she's going to the island with Method Man. She's made that abundantly clear. But yeah, let's see. Strive for More said, what a striking difference in their directorial debut. I got you. There's always room for growth, and in this industry for women, it can be difficult, but I wish them both all the best. No, we did not see it. Okay. I hope you take a look, but definitely will. Mimi says, I've never heard of the movie. Okay, well, you can give it a look-see when it comes on streaming. I don't know when that's going to be, but something to watch. Is it something to watch with children? Absolutely not. Do not watch this with children. Do not watch. This is like, you could watch The Watchers with children because ain't nothing happening in that. But this is not a watch with children. This is definitely not even a watch with teenagers. This is a adult themes, adult things are happening. It definitely, I think there was, if I recall correctly, there was a trigger warning before the movie started, which I respected. I was also just like, what's happening in this movie? That there's a trigger warning at the beginning. But yeah, but I really did enjoy this movie. I think, like I said, as this being her directorial debut, I think she stuck the landing. And I look forward to seeing what else she's going to do, if she does more like in this kind of like thriller genre, if she decides to step into other genres. But as of this, it lets me know that she's a pretty, solid writer, and she's also a pretty solid director for this being her first time. And that she also, to me, this is a better example of someone that has been in the industry for a long time and has been paying attention and knows exactly what their vision is and exactly how they want to execute it. Because everything that she did in terms of, her filmmaking was just so, she was so sure of herself. And I respected that. Like, to me, if you're going to do a movie, be sure of the choice you're going to make. Like, don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Even if you make a bad decision, don't half-ass your bad decision. Just go for it. She did not half-ass what she was doing. She whole-assed it. She whole-assed her, like, the movie. And I appreciated it. So, for any of you that's seen it, rate it in the chat what you thought. If you haven't seen it, because it seems like a lot of you have never seen this movie. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. So, if you've never seen this movie, I hope that you all give it a look-see and check it out when it eventually does come on streaming, or if you decide to rent it or something. I don't know. But I will see if I can like clip this portion of the video. But if you do all get around to seeing it, come back in the comment section and let me know what you think of the movie when you all get around to seeing it. I do hope that you check it out because I really enjoyed Blink Twice, and I would recommend for you all to see it. So, let's go to the chat. Strive for More said, directorial debut. Autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect gets the best of us. It was, I would say that it was messing up Will, but it wasn't. That was just him. So that's the last movie that I want to talk about in this live horror movie review. There were two other things that I wanted to go over before this ends. Let's see. Oh, Eve. Hi, Eve. How are you doing? Eve said, I wouldn't have known it was her directorial debut based on what I saw. Yes, I agree. Like, Eve said, I thought it was a great job. She thought it was a good job. I agree with you because the filmmaking was, it felt like someone that's been doing movies for a while and actually knows what she wants her style to be, like knows how she wants her movies to look. It didn't feel like a first-time filmmaker. It felt like someone that had been in the industry for a while. And like I said, the only thing that I was kind of like about is I felt like sometimes the movie was the music in the movie was a little bit like overdone at times, where she could have like had more restraint on some of the soundtrack and some of the musicality. But other than that, I really liked the cinematography she had in the movie. I thought that she really was like very sure of herself in her filmmaking, and I appreciated the hell out of that. But so someone else saw it. I'm glad. Eve, you saw it, and May saw it. That's two other people. Yay. Okay. So yeah, for anyone else, if you guys get around to seeing it, put it in the comment section of the video after the live is done. But yeah, there are two more topics that I wanted to briefly go over before the live ends that are not movie reviews, but they are topics. One of them being, because I needed to talk about this. So for those of you out there that are fans of the Wayans family, because I love the Wayans family. I love all of them. They've been holding it down for a long time in the comedy sphere. Okay. Love the Wayans family. For those of you that are a fan of the Wayans family, they obviously did Scary Movie. Scary Movie is probably one of the greatest parody films ever. It's definitely up there. And the first two Scary Movie movies were just bellissima, beautiful. Okay, Sean and Marlon and Keenan like absolutely like killed it, with those first two movies. And for those of you, oh wait, hold on, what did the chat say? What did the chat see? What's going on here? May said Nevy saw it too. Cool, there's 3 people. Faye saw it too. Oh hey new people that saw it, and also new people that are watching. So, oh wait, Faye saw it. I would love to know what Faye's rating this, because she's been taking shots all night. And what Appanevy, how did she think about it? Because she's a photographer. So I'd love to know, Appanevy, what you thought as a photographer seeing the cinematography in Blink Twice. Definitely put it in the chat, in the comments. But yeah. So in terms of Scary Movie, for those of you that know or don't know, after the first 2 Scary Movie movies, the Wayans brothers were pushed out of their franchise by the Weinstein Company. They had an idea of what they wanted to do. The Weinstein Company basically lowballed them on what they were going to pay them and essentially pushed them out and got other people to write the script. And they haven't been a part of the franchise in a long time. And the franchise obviously suffered for it. I don't know about y'all, but the only 2 Scary Movies that I watch are 1 and 2. After that, I don't really know what happened there. But it was announced a couple days ago it was announced a couple months ago that they were doing a Scary Movie 6. I personally didn't care because, the Wayans family wasn't attached to it. So I was like, they're just rebooting this movie to reboot it. Woo, no one cares. However, a couple days ago, it was announced that the Wayans brothers will be returning to the Scary Movie franchise, that Miramax reached out to them and that they are now a part of Scary Movie again and will be a part of the production and a part of the process. And I am so happy that we will finally allegedly be getting a good Scary movie since the second one. It makes my heart warm. It really does. In the chat, I think you missed some people. Yeah, where are the people? the other people who saw it? The other people who saw Blink Twice. I would love to know. Strive for More said, I thought they sold it. They did not sell it. It was unceremoniously taken from them. They did not sell it. Let me actually pull something up here so you guys can see the thing that I'm talking about. Not that there's anything, but we can pull this up. Here we go. Here we go. It says Wayans brothers reunite for new Scary Movie with Miramax and Paramount. Because obviously the Weinstein Company is not a part of that anymore, because we all know what happened with the Weinsteins. So yeah. So we got the brothers here. Sinestro Noir. What a sensual name. I know who that is though. Says usurper SOBs. I'm guessing you're talking about the Weinstein Company in terms of them taking it away from the Wayans. Yes, correct. But yes, it's so nice to see that they are back with the franchise. This is incredible. I am very happy to see it, very happy to know it. And I kind of want to throw it to the chat what you all think, because obviously, well, first of all, are you excited that Scary Movie's coming back? Number 1. Are you excited that the Wayans brothers are attached to it? Number 2. Because that's also, I'd love to know. So yeah, that's another thing. Are you excited? And number 3, the first 2 scary movies touched on a lot of different horror movies that were out during the time. They played on some of those horror movie tropes, but they also specifically went towards certain movies. Like the first scary movie pretty much touched on, the Scream franchise. It also kind of touched on I Know What You Did Last Summer. Scream 2 kind of did like, the Haunting, the House on Haunting Hill kind of spoof, and also like the Exorcist kind of thing, and also What Lies Beneath. So there were a couple things, that they touched on. But it's been 20 years of horror movies in Hollywood. So my question to you all is, what movies do you think that they have the potential to kind of touch on in this new movie, like to spoof? Because not only has there been a slew of horror movies, but there's also been kind of like a different take on horror since in this 20 years. Like there's been a lot more elevated horror. That's what we're going to call it. Like there's been Jordan Peele movies that have come out. There's been a lot of like A24 horror movies that have come out, like, Midsummer and like things like that. So what are some of the movies or the subgenres of horror that have come out? They've also rebooted the Scream franchise in the time that the Wayans brothers have been away from Scary Movie. So do you think that they're gonna like take jabs at like Scream, especially because there's some drama going on in the Scream franchise? I don't know if any of you are Scream fans, but there's been drama going on in the Scream franchise. They fired the lead actress Melissa Barrera, which was ridiculous. And is she gonna be in Scary Movie to kind of give like an FU to the Scream franchise, and she's not anymore? Like, so what do you all think they're gonna go, the direction that they're gonna go, or the movies that they're gonna touch on in this new one? Let's look at the chat here. Faye says, I thought it was a movie that was directed by someone who appeared to know what they were doing. I'm guessing you're talking about Blink Twice. I would say 2 out of 10 plus an apple, a green apple. The rating system from Faye is incredible. Sinestro Noir says, like Patsy's Pizza, the product is inferior to that of the originators. He is clearly talking about the Scary Movie franchise 3 to 5, I'm guessing. I watch Scary Movie 2 monthly, says Mimi. Yes, Scary Movie 2 is just, it's comedy gold. Okay? I definitely talked about Scary Movie when I did the review for The Blackening, which if you all haven't seen that movie, it was disappointing. That's all I have to say. I did a review for it when it came out. They're doing a Blackening 2. Or will they even... That's another thing. The Blackening came out as kind of like a parody of how Black people are treated in horror. I didn't feel like it was a very successful movie. There were people that liked it, but will they, tackle how Black people have also been portrayed in horror in these past 20 years? Because even that has changed. So that's going to be really, really interesting as well. May says the apple means it was a snack. Oh, wow. Okay. 2 out of 10 plus a snack. Thank you, May, for translating for Faye. I appreciate it. But yeah, so what do you all think? Like, do you think that they're going to dip into some new horror movies specifically like they did in Scary Movies 1 and 2? Like, focus on a specific horror movie to kind of go towards this new plot? Do you think they're going to take it in a completely new direction? I don't know. It hasn't, been said. Or actually, let's check this article. Maybe it will say what they will be doing, because it says it will shoot next year for a theatrical release. Wow, that's a pretty quick turnaround. Okay. Let's see here if it says what they'll be doing or the capacity at which they'll be a part of. It doesn't really say in this article what they will be doing or the capacity, like if, Keenan's going to be directing or, if he'll be writing or if Sean and Marlon are going to be in the movie. It doesn't say what their roles are. It just says they're a part of it. It would be nice if they were, if Keenan was directing and Sean and Marlon were in it. Would they even bring back the characters that they were in? Would they pretend that Scary Movies 3 through 6 didn't happen and just pick it up from Scary Movie 2? Are you going to get Regina Hall to come back? I mean, respectfully, she looks exactly the same. Girl looks great. She looks great. Shout out to Regina Hall. She just looks incredible. Just keeping it tight. I see you, girl. Face on point. On point. There's another person on point. Zoe Saldana. I love her. But yeah, it doesn't say what they're doing in their capacity in the movie. It does say at the bottom, Marlon Wayans will be seen starring in Justin Tipping's psychological sports thriller Him, produced by Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions, out in September 2025. So interesting. He's going to be in a psychological thriller coming up. So that's interesting. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't say what their capacity will be in the movie per se and what they'll be doing. It doesn't say if any of the original cast is coming back. Like, let's go to IMDb, y'all. And let's see if there's any details whatsoever about the movie. If they have a cast, which I feel like they probably don't have anything at all. It says Scary Movie 6 pre-production. That's it. Well, it does say writers, Keenan Ivory Wayans and Marlon Wayans. So that's hopeful that they are writing on it again. Okay, so the writers are basically, all right, so they're writing it. Okay, now who's directing it? It does not say. But it does say that they're writing it, so that's interesting. All right, in the chat, Eve said, has it changed? And Strive for More says they may do a spoof on The Blackening, even though it was a spoof. That would be very interesting if they did do a spoof of a spoof, because I did not feel like The Blackening was a successful spoof movie, if that's what it was supposed to be. But I did love the cast of The Blackening. I just wanted them. You know what? They should have the cast of The Blackening in the new Scary Movie so they could have some good material. I said what I said. But yeah, so they will be writing on the movie, but it doesn't say who's directing. So that's going to be really interesting. That's going to be really interesting to see who ends up directing this. But let me know in the chat or in the comment section what you think the direction of Scary Movie 6 is going to be. It's just really refreshing that the Wayans brothers are going to be a part of this again, because they obviously know how to come up with fresh ideas. They know how to really push a joke to the limits. And I always felt like those other movies were just, they didn't understand the concept. And that's pretty much how I felt about The Blackening. It didn't understand how to really push a joke. The Wayans family obviously knows how to push something to its limits. So I'm excited to see what Scary Movie 6 is going to be now that they're in charge of it again. Like, that brings me great joy. It brings me great joy to know that they will be a part of this experience again. I'm very happy to know. So let me know in the chat how you guys feel about Scary Movie 6 even coming out. If you think they should highlight some specific horror movies that have come out in the last 20 years, or if you think that they should take it in a completely different direction, let me know. And the last thing that I'll touch on in this stream before we call it a night, because it is close to 11, is I'm sure you've all seen the sadness and the debauchery that has been happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Blade. The movie was happening. Marshall Ali was casted as Blade. Wesley Snipes made a comeback as Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine. And Marvel released their slate for upcoming movies. Blade was supposed to come out next year, and they removed it from the slate indefinitely. Where is Blade going to be? We don't know. Now, Marshall Ali I don't think that he's been doing anything since he was cast as Blade, I believe in like 2018, 2019. I don't think that he has done anything. I feel like I'm about to spell his name so wrong, and it's not going to pull it up. So I'm not even going to try to do that. I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to type in Blade. Bam! Make life easier. So it says it stars Marshall Ali and Mia Goth. But I'll tell you what. I doth not believe that he will be in this movie much longer. It went back and forth. They were having a problem finding the director. They were having a problem finding writers. They switched out directors. They switched out writers. At this point, it doesn't look like the movie's going to happen. And if it does, it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. I personally feel like he is going to drop out of this movie because he's probably had enough with whatever Marvel is doing. He is a great actor. And he's done some, obviously, like some movies and some TV shows since. But I feel like he was kind of like waiting, to do that big Blade project. And now it's kind of, like, it still says in development. It doesn't say in pre-production. It doesn't say in production. It says Blade is in development. That is so problematic considering that movie was announced in 2019. I personally think that he will be leaving the project soon. And so my question for all of you is, who do you think that Marvel's going to cast as Blade? Because I think that Mahershala Ali he's going to walk away. And I want to know who they're going to cast. Because guess what? When they did cast him back in 2019, well, let's see. Mahershala Ali is 50 years old. He's 50. Okay? When they cast him, he was about 45. Now, granted, this man is fit. He's in shape. Okay? And I believe when Wesley Snipes was originally cast as Blade, he was in his, maybe late 30s, early 40s. But you're now asking this man who's, in his 50s to play this role for the first movie and then for subsequent movies that I'm sure are going to span 10 years. So by that point, you might as well just use Wesley Snipes. You over here talking about Wesley Snipes too old. You done aged Mahershala Ali. You aged him, Marvel. Who are you going to cast now? Because guess what? They have ran through fit black actors that could possibly play Blade. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II apparently is in a new Marvel show that's coming out, a new Disney Plus show that's coming out. So they're casting him for something else. So my question to you all is, who's going to play Blade? Because I believe that he'll be walking away soon. And I'm pretty sure the movie is doomed. So I'm pretty sure it's doomed because Marvel doesn't actually know how to execute this Blade movie seriously and just make it a rated R movie about Blade. I feel like they're trying to tie it in and weave it into all the other BS that's going on in the MCU instead of just making a really dope movie about Blade. So who do you think is going to play Blade once this man leaves? This beautiful black man, because he's definitely, even his teeth look a little pointy, look like he already could possibly, be Blade without even doing anything. But they blew that opportunity. So let's go to the chat, shall we? Let's see what you guys are saying here. Mimi says, Sweet Potato BB said she saw Blink twice, but I don't think you saw it. Yeah, no, there's a lot of, I'm looking at the live chat, and there's a lot of people's things that I'm not seeing. I don't know if YouTube is not showing me them, but I don't have anyone blocked. Everyone is supposed to be coming through. So, but YouTube be YouTubing. This is not surprising. I am not surprised. Surprising no one. Eve said, May said YouTube is definitely blacking people. Yeah, that makes sense. Mimi said, or maybe YouTube is blacking people. Yeah. Okay, so Sinestro Noir said, Scary Movie 6, back to our roots. That's funny. Eve said they're shoving the movie for sure. She's talking about Blade. Yep. Sinestro Noir said Wesley Snipes is as old as a real vampire. He handed the gold to Judas. That is crazy. Strive for Mercy, Scary Movie 6, back to our roots. What would that look like? Great title, Michael B. Jordan for Blade. Michael B. Jordan can't play Blade because they already used him as Killmonger in Black Panther. And that's what I mean. They are running through the black men in Hollywood, okay? Casting them in one movie roles. You cast Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. You cast, not to say, once again, the people that I'm going to name, I'm not naming them to say that they could have played Blade. I'm just saying really, actors that they have cast already in MCU roles that may or may not have stuck around. You cast Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. You cast Chiwetel Ejiofor already in Doctor Strange. Okay, you cast, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II in some show on Marvel. I don't even know, because Yahya Abdul-Mateen II could play Blade. He actually could. He's got a great physique. I believe he's like in his late 30s or mid 30s right now, so there's time. Okay, he obviously can do the action. We saw him do the action in the very poor Matrix Resurrection movies. Okay, but we saw that he can execute action sequences. He obviously can act. Okay, so they could have had him do Blade, but you just burned him on some random run-of-the-mill Disney Plus show that I don't even know what the show is about, but I saw a little peek of it, and it looks like a comedy. So you wasted this person, because I don't know, maybe they think that Marshall Ali is going to stick around. But I tell you what, I don't think that he will be sticking around, ladies and germs. I regret to inform you. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. He could absolutely stick around. He could be there. He might not leave, but I doubt it. Okay, so Eve said Michael B. Jordan can't. That's a complete sentence. Wow. Shots fired. May said YouTube blocked your own brother. Really? Are people like responding in the chat and I'm just like not seeing it? That makes me sad. I don't know why I have live chat on. Am I just like not seeing humans? I'm not seeing that. If there are people saying something, let me know, because I can't see it. May said, who is Sweet Potato BB? I think that is Melissa, who was here earlier. She might still be here, but I might not be seeing her because the chat. But yeah, so Eve said AI. Yeah, AI is probably moderating this for reasons unknown. But yeah, I don't know if any of you have any idea on who could possibly play this Blade character, because like I said, I do not believe that it will be Marshall Ali for much long. That's just me keeping it a buck with y'all. I don't believe that this man will be doing this for much longer, but let me know in the chat if y'all think that he will be continuing to play Blade, because I'll tell you what, I don't. Would he have been a good Blade? Probably. Is Marvel running through actors like nobody's business? Also, yes. But yeah, so let me know in the chat who you guys think will replace him eventually, because I feel like he will be replaced, and I feel like it will be of his own volition. I feel like he will step away from it, because I feel like he's probably tired of Marvel giving him the runaround. He'll end up playing Blade when he's 60, and ain't nobody got time for that. Not to say that he wouldn't be fit, but like, that's unfair to him and what he's trying to do in his career, to keep, him dangling like by a carrot to play this role when they have no business in executing it properly. But anyway, you all, that is the end of the live stream. Those were all the topics I wanted to cover. Those were all the movies that I wanted to review. I hope you all enjoyed the stream, my first stream. I know there was some technical difficulties in the beginning, and I'm sure that there's probably still technical difficulties. I'm sure there's still probably a slew of technical difficulties in general, but I do hope that you all enjoyed the stream. I hope that you had fun. I hope you learned something. I love how I just superimposed myself over Marshall Ali's face. Just like, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. No, but seriously, I really do. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed the stream. If you've seen any of those movies or you have anything more to say, please put in the comment section. Obviously, YouTube, decided that it was going to start editing people for no reason, because that sounds like things that YouTube likes to do. But please put in the comment section if I missed anything that you guys did say. I enjoyed this so much. If you enjoyed the live, please like it and subscribe to the channel and share it, and anything. I'll try to clip certain parts of the video so that you all can like watch over certain parts for those of you that like have missed it. But if you did like the live and you want me to do it again, or like do it once a month to like review some movies, or like to check in and see how everyone's doing, also let me know in the comments. This was so fun. Once again, I'm sorry it didn't happen yesterday, but it was so nice to read everyone's comments and everyone that showed up tonight. I really appreciate all of you. This was so fun and I really enjoyed it. Shout out to everyone that like rated the movies, that felt ways about all of the movies, and for watching the things to even comment. I appreciate all of you and your opinions on things. Shout out to all the other creatives in the chat. I see you. We out here. We trying to write. We trying to edit. We trying to take pictures. We trying to do films. We out here, y'all. But I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. And once again, I hope you guys have a lovely remainder of your Friday and a lovely weekend. And I hope this was a good start to your November, because it is November, y'all. The year about to end. Tomorrow, December 31st. We about to go into January in 2025. But anyway, I love you all. This was so much fun. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. I hope this was a nice way to end your Friday and a good start to your weekend. And I will see you all real soon, as per usual. So, peace. Bye, guys.